noise is often considered as nuisance. Imagine you are riding a two-wheeler. There's a loud engine sound that accompanies you. You start worrying. The people around you are annoyed. You probably start thinking that you need to visit a mechanic. But what if I told you? Imagine you're riding a two-wheeler and it's a Harley Davidson bike. Suddenly your perception would flip. The same engine sound is now a symphony of power and attitude. It's no longer just a noise. It's a statement. It's a trademark that can turn heads and people willingly pay a premium price for it. This is how branding and perception can come together to turn ordinary into remarkable. Businessman creates a brand and that in turn creates a perception. But an entrepreneur knows what perception he wants to generate and thus creates a brand. While many brands aspire to turn from ordinary to extraordinary, what do they really do? They try to show up everywhere telling us how good they are and why we should buy them. Just think about it. How many YouTube ads do you really click? How many banner ads do you check on your feed? How many emails from brands do you read? Maybe 1 or maximum 2 out of 10. This is because these brands focus on selling themselves instead of creating a positive brand perception. And let me tell you a truth. Brands who try hard to sell themselves never sell. I am a brand identity designer with a degree in entrepreneurship. You can call me a designpreneur. Yes, I can give a makeover to my degree as well. So over the past 8 years, I have been designing logos to information graphics to packaging to large-scale displays. And over the course of my journey, I had the privilege to work with brands across various industries. And I've observed that earlier, marketing used to be the forefront of sales, but today, brand perception has taken the front seat. I create brand perceptions. I create visuals to influence human psychology, to give you business. So how do we create these brand perceptions? Well, I define brand perception as a mental impression or a silent rating for any brand in your mind. And the good news is that this perception can be thoughtfully created. So we come back to a question, how do we define, how do we create these brand perceptions? Well, there are only 5 ways for any information to reach your brain cells. Your 5 senses. And while each sense has its own role to play in creating a perception, visuals are often the first point of contact between a brand and its audience. Visuals create a memory, allow subconscious mind to focus to create a perception and narrow down choices. But while we are talking about visuals, the challenge is that we have got only few moments of consumer attention. And if we are not supposed to talk about why we are the best, what do we really talk about? Have you ever observed companies? What do they do differently who have a solid brand perception? They have a fundamentally robust product. Their mantra is to focus on product, its features and innovation. So once you've established a solid product and a solid foundation, your visual identity should reflect your brand values. One of the first things that I do when I start working with brands is send them a questionnaire. Because writing brings clarity of thoughts. What does your brand do? What is your brand story? How did you generate this idea? How did you choose this name? What is your higher purpose beyond profitability? Who is your target audience? What perception would you like to create into their minds? What is the emotional value that connects you and your brand? Essentially, why you're doing what you're doing. Because these brand values start to develop with your product idea. Often people do this mistake of starting the branding process after their product is ready. Like a child is not really born on the day it is born. The birth takes place when it is conceived. Similarly, your brand values are born with the birth of your product idea. They are the reason for your existence and what makes you stand alone in your place. So how do I incorporate all this into a design? Well, I imagine the brand's journey as a story of a movie and your brand as its hero. As we see in all great movies, the outlook of the hero is designed by the way the story is written. Similarly, the outlook of your brand, that is the design, should be in sync with your brand values. Have you ever observed Apple advertisements? They never try to sell their products. The brand's purpose is to give the best user experience through innovation, and their ads silently demonstrate those values. Let me share with you a personal story. While many of you would be aware of this color wheel, this typically demonstrates which color goes with another. While I work with colors all day long, and this is a guiding compass for many, but frankly, I do not believe in this. I think there are no two colors in the world which do not complement each other. You just need to channel your inner Picasso and play with the shades. And my biggest inspiration for color theory has always been nature. Trust me, it can never let you down. So next time, just try depicting the colors of nature with the elements of nature, and your subconscious will give you the best ever color palette for your brand. Yet my job as a designer is not to create what I love, but to create what you and your audience would love, because it is you who would be living and co-evolving with your brand over the years. So let me give you a brand perception example that illustrates the power of perception. So some time ago, I was approached by this company who is a prominent leader into agriculture business to design the packaging of one of their products, an organic manure, a fertilizer. How interesting this product can be. What is the scope of creativity? Catering to a traditional audience, farmers who are not so open to creativity. And moreover, they are very loyal in their approach. The higher the loyalty, the more difficult the change. So creating a compelling design and expecting customers out of it was a challenge. So these are the brand aspects that I listed out while designing the concept: the loyalty of farmers, creativity that is easy to adapt for the farmers, consumer attention, product utility, the brand values, and the competition design. And this is how I chose the color palette to target each of these aspects. I infused blue. Since we were dealing with the aspect of loyalty, blue is the color of sky, the universe, and we associate trust with it. Orange, to grab the attention on the shelves because we were a new entrant in the market. Green, to evoke fertility and abundance because the brand's higher value was creating a better tomorrow for the community, and green is the color of creation. Moreover, I found this color combination missing in the competition designs. All the existing packaging were just boring two-tone colors with not so creative images. So I wanted to create something compelling, something eye-catchy, yet subtle because of the nature of the product. So I created this illustration that demonstrates to the farmers the life cycle of how easy this product is to use and how it can give you a better manure. This design was an overall combination of something new to offer with a touch of old to create a sense of belonging. So the key to connect with people is invite them into your brand story and generate a silent dialogue speaking through colors, shapes, images. And my strategy aims to leverage this silent dialogue. That is what differentiates a graphic designer and a brand identity designer. As a result, when this product rolled out into the market, we were standing out on the shelves. We were no longer just another fertilizer company, but we became associated with trust and sustainability subconsciously by the farmers. Our brand perception hitting on point. Our sales data and customer feedback confirmed that this dialogue was very easy for farmers to understand, and therefore they adapted to this change very seamlessly. This is the magic of perception, and you all can create this magic. The power lies within you. You already know the secret ingredient. The journey from ordinary to extraordinary begins with your intention. Branding is not just about creating a good-looking design. It is not about creating a perception. Next time you think of branding, just ask yourself this question: what perception would you like to create? Thank you.